Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. It's been a little while since I have been here, so I thought it might be fun to share an update of my currently inked pens, what I have in them, how I'm liking that, and how they're working with the papers that I mostly use. I did do a little video. It was sort of just a sound video where I was inking up a few. I thought that was kind of fun because I've seen some videos that just do the sound stuff, and I thought I'd give that a try, but I really wanted to talk about these a little bit more. My main paper that I have before me now is, this is Tomoe River paper. This is put out by Lamy. The design of the notebook is theirs, and I think it's, I don't have it written down, but I believe it's the 68 GSM. Then I have the new paper I'm trying, the Ayush paper from India that I bought at the St. Louis Pen Show. And then I have the Cosmo Airlight, which, as you know, if you've watched me for any length of time, is really quite a favorite of mine. So anyhow, let's talk about this. So I put what's the best way to show this? I put the Vinta Laguna in my primary macchiato. This is a narwhal pen. I generally really like this pen, and I've liked the combinations of inks I've used, or the ink and pen combinations I've used. But I've got to say, I don't think that the Laguna works as well in this pen. It seems to run more dry. I haven't had a lot of trouble with it on, if I just use like a Tomoe River, or even like the 52 GSM, it's okay. This isn't bad here, but it does seem to run a little bit more dry as a general rule. On the Ayush paper, I didn't like it at all. It was just a very bland experience. It seemed to run from the pen dry. And even though this is a beautiful ink, when it goes on wet, it kind of dries more matte. There's not a whole lot of shimmer or sheen or shading to it, but it has a very nice feel coming from the pen. A great combination I've had with this is to use it together with my Benu Briolette Luminous Amber pen, but I'm going to switch this one out. I just haven't liked it, and even on my favorites on the Cosmo, it flows. It flows well here, but I don't know, it's missing something. It does seem a little bit more dry still. And like I said, normally this has been okay, so I can't really say it's the nib, because other inks have worked marvelously with this pen. So I'm going to switch it out later. I don't have a black going right now, so I'm going to put the Iroshizuku Takisumi in my narwhal. And I thought that would be a kind of a pretty combination too, because this is really black. I'm slowing down and hesitating because I'm seeing a little sparkle in here that I hadn't noticed before. So it's a pretty pen. I like it, but I don't like that ink together with that. So next, I kind of got my order mixed up on some of these, but I have in my Lami Safari Terra. This is a broad nib. This is broad nib too, if I didn't mention. Of course, that's here, and you know that about me. I just have a cartridge in here. It's the Lamy Purple, and it's really been very reliable. It's really nice on the Cosmo. I feel like it's not as great on the Ayush, and I think I like it better on the 52 GSM than this 68 or whatever the numbers are. It's okay. It's not an experience that thrills me. I think if it was my first fountain pen experience, I'd be kind of like, could take it or leave it. So I know enough now to try them on different papers, but the best is probably on this or the 52 GSM old Tomoe River paper. But it's reliable, it's good, it seems to flow well, it doesn't get it's consistent enough to be reliable and a pen that I like using, but it's not my very favorite experience. And then where my order, I think, got mixed up was with my Twisbys, but let's just go ahead and do the Twisty Eco Jade Broad is inked up with the Chrome Idwal ink by Pure Pens, and this ink is an amazing ink. My friend Kim in the UK first introduced me to this. Thank you, Kim, if you're watching. It has been a favorite. I keep going back to it. It's got this nice sheen, or is it shimmer? It's sheen. It's got a nice sheen to it, sort of what I'm picking up here in person on this side of the camera is like a coppery red. It flows so nicely from all my pens. And this Twisty Eco Jade, I've had other people mention too that it's just a real gushy pen. It just seems to really put out the ink. And it seems even broader than your typical broad-nibbed pen. But on all these papers, it is very nice. I think what I'm finding about the Ayush paper is that it's just drier, or it's just like maybe more absorbent is a better way of putting it. It takes the ink right away. So it probably won't be a favorite paper of mine so far. I've only done sampling. I haven't really done long writing sessions with it. But some of the inks, it's great, and others, it's like, I don't like it so much. This one works well with the Ayush, and of course, it's great on the other two papers, the Cosmo and the Tomoe River. You might be able to see here at the Chrome Idwal, there's just this little circle, a little ovally, almost like a metallic, kind of coppery actually, when I'm picking up on it. It's such a neat ink. I really like it. So then I got my new pen, my Opus 88, my husband bought for me at the pen show. What is the best way to do this? It's a really nice pen. I love the size. I'm finding I really enjoy a nice big chunky pen. It feels comfortable down here. Got some ink on my finger. It has a little bit of a hard start sometimes, but it has worked really nicely with the ancient copper in it, the diamine ancient copper. This is a broad nib, of course. It's the orange, and it works great on this. Works nicely here, works wonderful on the 52 GSM, and a little bit, again, more absorbent here. But it feels pretty good. It feels pretty nice to write with it. But I have just loved this. I thought that ink color, the ancient copper, would look kind of cool in here, and it really has been a nice, satisfying mix. So, fun pen. Kind of wish I would have tried them earlier on in my pen journey. I mean, I've only been at this maybe 2 years now, but I do like this. I like these big pens. And I never thought I'd like pens that were just neat looking. These also write nicely in a way that I enjoy, but you know, I was all about the demonstrator pens because I liked seeing the ink. But you can kind of, with this Opus 88, it's orange, but you can, it still is considered a demonstrator, and it is eyedropper filled. So that's a little bit different. I don't have one that's strictly that. And then let's see which to do next. I guess we'll talk about the Caveco a minute. I haven't used my Quebecos in a while. This is the Caveco Collection Dark Olive. I have a double broad nib in it. And the Deepwater Blue has been a great ink, and I bought it because one thing that is said about it is that it works so nicely with a variety of type of pens, and that's what I was searching for, just a good all-purpose ink. especially one that would work in my Quebecos, because I've had trouble in the past finding a ink that would just keep flowing. It seemed like it would just dry out after a while. It's kind of a just a nice deep basic blue. It does make me think of the sea in a way, thus I guess the name deep water blue. Some people have described it as like a dark denim, and I think that's a good description. So I really like that. I don't think it has a whole lot of, I mean, maybe some shading, but it's just very reliable. It's a pleasant color. It's one of those colors you can go back and read what you've written, and it doesn't bother your eyes. It's not too shiny or bright, and it just goes on really nicely on this more absorbent paper too. If you are familiar with Ayush paper, give me your thoughts and comments too, please, how you would describe it. To me, I say dry, more absorbent. Maybe there's a more technical term. It is nice in that it kind of has that grippy effect like the Cosmo does. Again, non-technical term, but I know what I mean by that. It just helps me write neatly versus, I love the 52 Tomoe River paper, but it's like slippery. And so my writing, I don't feel like is as neat or controlled on that paper as much as I like the writing experience. It does affect the look of my handwriting. But anyway, this, I have Donna from South Shore Paper to thank so much for introducing me to Grise Orage. It's a J. Urbain ink. Stormy Gray is the English translation. It has worked on every paper. I just keep it in my Twisty Eco broad nib cement gray pen. It is so consistent. I love it on any paper I've tried it on. The little sparkle thingies don't get caught in the pen. It's always shown in not only the writing, but in the swatching, or I should say not only the swatching, but in the writing. There's always the little gold flecks. I also really like that it's an ink that has gold flecks to it versus silver. It's just so unique to have gray and gold together. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. That is just so cool looking. And every time I write with it, it's a very satisfying experience. You can really see the gold there. Part of that might be is that the ink level is running down, and maybe more of that shimmer element is kind of coming out towards the end of my writing session with this round of ink. It sounds scratchy on here, and it's kind of weird because I'm not really finding this. Well, there, it works better here. It's just kind of not my favorite Tomoe River paper. It's not terrible, but I think I do kind of like the 52 better. It seems to be just a little more smooth, but still, writing with this is good. I like it. Just seems a little bit more dry than some of the others. Hopefully you can catch some of that shimmer. It's so pretty. It's such a unique ink. I love it. So that's what I'm using. This is the one, as I said, I will go ahead and switch that out. I haven't used this pen in a little bit, so I want to put something new in it. It's been fun using a Caveco again, and this combination is very delightful. The thing about the cartridge converter, it's rather small. So, and I can never get it to fill up totally. It just fills up partially. I may give that another try and try to get it more full. I will keep this in here. That is my plan, to perpetually have Stormy Gray in there. This is really nice. The Kum Idwal in this is delightful. This is a great combination, but since it's new, I may switch it out when it's empty and try a new color in it. And this is kind of just like my all-purpose pen that floats around the house. Some of the ink is caught up there, but it is a good, reliable pen. It's one of those that you can just have around, take with you. It doesn't feel fragile. I've heard it called the workhorse, or a workhorse type pen, and I've got to say, I agree with that, and it's a good pen. So that's what I have going. If you're wondering about the rocks, it's from a activity I've done with my grandkids. We did painted rocks and left them at parks for people to find. So there you go. That's all for now. Hope you're all doing good. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.